Welcome to the fish tank.
Hey everybody, Fishman here, and welcome to another video. As I said on Wednesday, this isn't going to be a fish-related video, unless I truly want to stretch that definition, because this is going to be my new workstation. This folding plastic table you see me working on here is the old one. It has been in so many videos, and it's served me well. I mean, it's functional, but it has a number of issues. The primary one is it's plastic, and unfortunately because it's plastic, it has a lot of give to it, and you'll have to see when I'm working on it. I put a piece of plywood on top of it to try and take up some of that, but that give is still there. And the other thing I don't like about it is it's too long for it to fit sideways between the two main rows of tanks I have. This one here, or the one behind it. So when I do my feeding in the morning and the afternoon, it's either in the way for this one or it's in the way for the other one. And also if I want to do some planting or pruning or transplanting or moving fish back and forth, the table's in the way. So the problem is I have so many projects on the go at any given time that there's a whole pile of stuff that's on that table. And to take all that stuff away, find somewhere in the shop for it to go, or the fish room, fold up the table, and then get ready to do whatever I wanted to do, it's just a phenomenal waste of time. So I just usually put up with it being in the way. The new table is going to get rid of all those problems. First off, it's going to be made out of 3/4 inch plywood, and also it's going to have a lot more structural stability to it. This is actually one of the few things I'm quite good at when it comes to making things. It's going to be really solid, which is good. It'll be a good work surface to work on. The other thing is it is narrow enough that it will fit sideways, and also I'm going to have it on wheels, so it will be easily movable, even if, like I said, even if under that rare circumstance that I need to move it out of the way. So those are all great pluses. Now the other thing that it's going to have on both ends, the left and the right, it's going to have areas where I can put in total 6 storage bins. They're not going to be drawers because I want to be able to take them out easily. I'm going to make acrylic liners for them and subdivide them and that sort of stuff, so I can sort all the equipment I need for any kind of given project. Because I'm not sure if you're like me, but half the time I'm getting set up to make something, I'm looking for something. It'll be either a tape measure, which I have like 7 of by now, just to try and get around that, or in the case of like if I'm doing some soldering or whatever, I'm always looking for equipment. And so those bins are going to be stocked with that sort of stuff. So whenever I'm sitting down and working on something, either to my left or my right, there's going to be pretty much everything that I need to hand. And as this progresses, I may again add additional stuff to it as well, just to make sure that I'm not wasting any time, because I don't have a lot of spare time to begin with, and if I'm going to spend 10 or 15 minutes looking for something, it just bothers me. So the other reason for doing this, and as you remember from the beginning when I said if I really stretch this definition, it can be fish related, and that is, if you remember a little while back, I made a wood framed aquarium, a wood framed glass tank, and there's a number of things I want to do with that. But I am not a carpenter. I do lots of structural stuff. If I get a job, 9 times out of 10, what it is someone will be doing some renovations, and they want an aquarium, and I'll obviously do the structure that holds the tank up. I'll do all the plumbing, build the tank, and all that sort of stuff. But it's always better, and like every circumstance I've ever run across, whoever is doing the millwork for the office needs to do the millwork for the aquarium as well. That way it all matches up. It's very difficult to match someone else's technique, sources of wood, staining processes, and everything else. It's really almost impossible really to get a match that way. So it's always just easier for them to do that. So there's never really much in the way of call for me to do any kind of fine carpentry. So this is going to work on those techniques. And as you go along, you'll see that, I mean, what I do is functional. But I do need, like I said, lots of practice when it comes to doing anything that has to, look nice. So as we go along here, actually, there's one other thing I want to mention while we're on the topic. One of the other reasons for doing this is on the rare occasions when I get requests for doing anything that has any kind of finishing to it, almost all the time what I'll do is, in this case like here, I will sand it down, and then whatever stain they want, I'll stain it that color. And then once that's all dry, I will put coats of urethane on it and just seal it. And I'm not actually really happy with that process. The main problem with it is time. In the old days, shellac or varathane or whatever, which is oil-based, would last forever. It'd be like tough as nails. Current shellacs are water-based, and varathanes are water-based. And I noticed that because you're working with aquariums and there's a lot of water involved, they don't last as long. They tend to, especially if you put something like a cup or something with a bit of condensation on it or whatever, I find that it will actually start to dissolve it, and it just ruins the finish. So what I'm trying out is I'm going to try working with some oils. In this particular case, it is boiled linseed oil, and I've never worked with it before. I mean, just from my first impressions of it, first off, I like the smell. I mean, it doesn't stink up the fish room, and it is easy to work with. I mean, the old sanding and then staining and then doing coats of urethane, you have to sand in between the coats, and you have to be careful when you sand and all that sort of stuff. This, you just spread it on after, of course, you do the first initial sanding, of course. Once you have the sanding done, you just, as you see here, just slather it on. Don't put on too much. Give it 20 minutes, half hour. Wipe off any excess. Let it sit for a day. The first coat a day was fine. The subsequent coats took a little longer, but then it dries out and it's fine. I don't know how it's going to weather or stand up to a fish room, and that's actually why I'm doing part of it. I want to see, is this going to be the kind of surface, or surfacing I should say, that's going to prevent any kind of like water spots, or also other things like mold or whatever else that might happen. So all those sorts of details are important, and they will eventually, as time goes by, I'll figure out if this particular oil is good or other oils are good. The only reason I picked this one is because it is easily available in town. I was deciding what kind of wood to do, and I decided I'd check in the hardware store, and they happen to have this particular one. And I watched a couple of videos, and this was one of the ones that people liked. There are other ones as well, and depending on how this does, I mean, if I like this style, the other ones have slightly different finishes and whatnot, so I may end up trying out something else as well. So definitely let me know what you think of by the end of this, what you like or how you like the look of it, because that's kind of important. If it doesn't look good, there's really no reason to continue using it, but I don't think there's going to be much issue with that. It does, I actually asked a couple people to have a look at it, and as far as aesthetics go, it looks nice. But like I said, it has to actually weather and stand the test of time, and we'll see how it does on that. So these are going to be the two uprights. They're going to be on the left and the right, and this is where the bins are going to fit. They're just going to slide in here. I could have done drawers and had sliders. I've done that many times. I didn't want to go that route. I want this to be mostly just serviceable. I want it to be rugged, so I'm going to build some nice, pretty much just boxes. I will make the fronts of them match the top, so that way it looks like a finished drawer. But I want them to easily come out. I want to be able to take them out, sit them on top of the workstation, get stuff I want out of it, put them back in. I want it all to be really functional and easy to get at. And that's the primary concern here, of course. One of the things I haven't decided yet is this is the back. You can see the bottoms to the left right now. I countersunk these screw holes, and I am going to cover all of this in the burnt linseed oil. But I haven't decided whether I'm going to go to the extra mile here and fill all those holes first. But we'll see how that goes. So here you go. This is the old one. It's banged up and used. Obviously, I haven't done all the rest of the carpentry for this yet, but that will come up. But it is ready now just for me to pop the top on and give you at least a first look at this. I'm going to probably do one more coat of oil, and then obviously I have to do the rest of it as well. So anyway, this is not normally what I do, but if you like this style of video, please like and or subscribe, and always let me know what's going on below, and let me know what you think of this. And I will see you in the next video, and thanks for watching and all that, and bye for now.